Here's a tutorial on how to make something that can carry something heavy. I'll show you what I mean. This is something that just came from Ukraine. I'm extremely happy to receive this. It's a Cyr wheel, and I don't know if you can imagine, it becomes a really big wheel. So my next question I was asking myself was, how am I going to carry this thing? Like, there's no bag with it. And the first thing that came to my mind was using a guitar case. And as you can see, there's a bit of a problem. So you could ask yourself, like, you know, are there bags for these sorts of things? And at the moment, there's no actual bag. There might be bags for this sort of item, but I can't find any. And so it comes down to either finding something that you can find to use a bag, or you can build yourself something. And this is where I want to drive this video. I want to document what I'm doing so that if anyone ever comes into the same situation and needs to build themselves something, I want to show you how I do it, and just how the simplicity of taking the steps to doing that. So down here, this is a bed sheet. All these items that I'm going to leave in the description hopefully can take you to the actual website for you to buy straight away if you need to. And the cheapest, plainest bed sheet that I could find. And I've already cut it. I've lined it out. I've done the whole cutting process already. So what I mean is, when I first done it, I lined the whole bed sheet out, and I took the measurements of what this would be. Then after that process, I folded it in half, and here I dotted all down the whole path, this dotted line, so that I know where to stitch. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, you can see it. This is the needle still stuck in the fabric after stitching it, and I've just done a real loose stitch. And the whole point of that was so that I don't have to use these things, the pins. I don't have to buy a whole bunch of pins and put them all through the whole thing, which might just come undone anyway. So it's just a basic template of, like, it's just going to stay in place, and the purpose of that is so that I can put it through the sewing machine. Yeah, so the sewing machine is quite expensive, probably over 100 quid. If you ain't got a sewing machine, this kind of sucks. But you can hand sew it. It's gonna take you a lot longer. But having a sewing machine, if you can borrow one from your grandma or buy one, they're quite cheap. Like, for a sewing machine that sews, it's quite cheap. This one I got is called a Brothers. I'll leave another description in the link below. But absolutely wonderful for doing projects like this. So the next step is going to be, just one stitch all the way down there, then fold it over and do another one. And I'm going to just cut the rest if there's too much excess. But the idea is, once I've done that, then I'm going to make reinforced stitches all around the whole thing, and then seal off one end, put a something to hold it, like a holder handle thing, and that should work. Yeah, this whole setup, it does require quite a fair amount of brain power, I'd say. The video, there's great tutorial videos, and I'm just going to skip this step because I'm going to post them in the description for anyone to engage with that process. Once you know how to set it all up properly, you should have something that has these two strings. I've got two different colours to distinctively show. Yep. One's coming from the bottom, one's coming from the top. Not too bothered about the colour coding at this point. Just want to get the objects made and showcast it, you know? Yeah, so tried lining this up as much as it's going to get lined up. And now I'm going this way, and you folks are only going to be able to see the concept of what I'm trying to show here. Try getting that camera as close as I can. I'll flip this thing down here. I forgot. Yeah. So you can see I can go mad on it, but I just want to go slow and steady. You can see it really takes actually hardly no effort at all. And the time that this would take, oh man, if you manually stitching this, thank God for sewing machines. You can see I'm not being like super careful or anything. I don't need to be. I've got this stitching, it's holding it in place, and I'm telling you, it's just so worth doing before. Makes this job very easy. So this nice, not perfectly straight, but straight enough line would have never been achieved if I'd never put in the basic simple stitch, which I can just pull out now if I want to. But this is it. Now that I've made this first stitch, the rest of this project is just going to be a breeze. I don't know if this is going to turn out perfect. Obviously, it's my first go at it. Okay. The way I'm going about this though, I'm just folded this over now, just one time, and I've lined it up, and I'm putting these pins in there. I'm gonna shove that through one time, one stitch, one straight stitch. Then do the same with the last. Again, double layered on the same end of this, which should reinforce it, and is where I plan on putting a handle, so the handle can really be reinforced on the whole bag itself. So just last layer now, this final piece comes over in the corner, and what I'm finding is I didn't properly get this all angled out, and what I'm finding is I've just got a little bit of a coming quite short as I fold this side over. See? But it's not going to stop me from completing the whole thing. Just something to be aware of in the end. Like in the future, I will know, always overdo it by, you know, your measurements and stuff. And it's good to have some left over than be too short. Okay, I did come short here on the whole thing, whole project, but I'm going to make it work to my advantage. What I've done, I just pulled it up to the edge of here, and what's happened now is it's got a, it's tapered, so it's going to be wider at the end and shorter this end. I'm going to make that work, and reason being, so I know what side is the bottom, what side is the top, and just to get out of a mistake, making a mistake work, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's getting there. We've finally come to the end of the sides. Now I just need to seal, well, not just, I need to put the handle on as well, but seal the bottom. How to do this? Just fold it over and stitch that? No. I realise I need to get 2 layers, fold them inwards, get the other 2 layers, fold them inwards as well, and pinch that together and try and sew that. So let's do that. Yeah, to do that, I think it's going to be easier just to snip all this and have a straight face to work with. This is, I think, a bit tricky, but not impossible. Just trying to get all this pinched together is going to be like a challenge. No, actually it was way easier than I thought. You literally just fold it all inwards, and it's got this thing hanging out there, but you know, I'm not here to win a fashion awards of the year. I just want it to work. Yeah, so this is all finished now. The bottom's done. I've reinforced it. I've double stitched it. Yep, a bit messy, but just need to get a handle on it now. I've found this nice little cut here. Just gonna cut off a piece and make my handle. Yeah, once you've done this, I've just folded it over now. I'm gonna have one line, put it together, fold it over, do another line on this side, and that should be tough enough as a handle. So the first stitch is done. I'm deciding to sort of fold it twice so that I've got this nice neat finish that doesn't show any of this dodgy line, and yeah, all the way down, and that'll give it a neat finish. Final part of the project is getting our handle onto the back. Honestly, don't think this is going to be too hard. I'm just going to slap it there, hold that through there, make sure I don't get into that as I'm sewing so that sticks to it. No, make sure I'm just being careful, and it should be straightforward with that attached to there, and down here somewhere getting this attached to that. Yep, almost done. As you can see, I went really overboard with this. I really went to town with the stitching. It feels really tough, firm on there, and ain't coming off anytime soon. And this is where I think the hardest challenge is going to be, getting this attached to this, because obviously I can't just put my hand through there. I've sewed that off. So in the future, I'm thinking, make sure I don't sew anything off onions where I can easily access stuff. Make sure I do that last. Learning curve, but it ain't impossible for me just to reach in there and reach this point, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Another thing is put a marker here where you're going to mark it, so that when you start putting your hand in here and it all creases up, you don't lose where you're going to put a stitch. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a bit messy, and without having a marker, you're never going to know where your bottom end of the handle is going to go. Well, I managed to finally get down, get this stitching on. Really not ideal, sort of very difficult to turn when it's all bundled up like, and difficult to stitch. But we managed that, and so many things are starting to shout out to me, like when you're doing these things, make sure you fold all the edges away, so you stitch over the edge so it doesn't frow out. And the same for this, like this whole edge, all these little bits are gonna come off now. Anyway, the whole thing works, like, you know, and moment of truth. It's sort of holding, but I did hear a bit of a rip on it, but it does go over, and I'll kind of put it over like this. And if you see me walking down the road like this, and you've seen this video on YouTube, you know what I've got inside the bag. Yeah, quite happy with it though, and all in all, like the thing I realised as well, like you can actually put strings and stuff here to tighten all of this into like that, and maybe like a pocket so I can put the nuts that go with this into a pocket on here, you know, little things like that. But yep, quite happy with that. Yeah, so that'll do it for this episode, and I want to just point out, like, that is my first attempt making this. The idea is that I'm showing you can just make anything that comes to your mind, and without any sort of too many emotional barriers that can really block your pure desires. You can just come up with an idea and manifest it. That's the main reason why I want to do these videos. If you want to build something like that, I really recommend you go to professional experienced YouTubers that have been doing this for years on end, and look at what they're doing. But to inspire people, just to show them like you can knock together anything, and your world is basically like a Lego land. It really is. If you've got the right tools, you can knock together bits of metal, wood, fabric to make anything you really want. And it's really recommended. Like if you look on YouTube, and if you look on online with some of how expensive some things are, I'm even thinking like my own underwear, because underwear is getting more expensive than tops, like plain tops. And like a plain top costs £4. There's more fabric in the top, right? Double the amount of fabric a plain top has. £4 I think you can get in Primark. But to buy underwear as a bloke, to buy boxers, I'm looking at least £20 to buy 3 sets, maybe just 2 sets. So building your own stuff is not only fun, but a much more cheaper alternative than these companies that are starting to rip people off because of the laziness, and the fact that not a lot of people know how to release negative emotions, which keeps them emotionally blocked, which keeps them not able to manifest and act on their pure desires. And out there, if you like, good for you. If you're inspired, good for you.